Did you grow up with the NES, PlayStation, Star Wars, cartoons, and 80s TV? Do you like to think who would win in a fight between Batman and the Master Chief? Comics, games, movies, music, and TV, they're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of geeks. Games, movies, music, and TV, they're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of This Week in Geek. This Week in Geek.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode. We are here with a very quickie 3 review. I guess technically there's 4 items, but it's a 3 review episode here. These were the reviews that were going to be part of our main show that we decided to postpone because we had our big Nintendo Switch prototype on the Switch 1 and Switch 2 Directs. So we had the reviews already ready to go, and they weren't going to fit in another pre-recorded show that we have coming up, which is our big hullabaloo of just all the reviews that have come in for the last little bit that we're sort of putting together in a big compilation. These were ready to go for our regular weekly pop culture show, but since we're not doing the news one, we wanted to make sure that they came out because some of these are very timely. And we didn't think we should wait till the end of the week or to next week to do it again. So not much to say here, just that there's a couple from Birdman and there's one from myself here, a really neat little indie darling of the game. And I will come back at the end just to sort of say what's going on programming wise and what we've got coming up, because it's sort of going to be at a bit of flux right now as we see news and events going on. But I guess without further ado, I'm going to have to send it over to Birdman because he's got some pretty cool stuff to talk about.
Hey guys, this is Mike the Birdman here. I'm here to talk about something we got sent from our friends over at Razer. Once again, continuing on with my reviews of their Minecraft edition stuff. I'm going to be taking a look at 2 things today. I'm going to be taking a look at the Razer Cobra Minecraft edition RGB wired gaming mouse, and I'm also going to be taking a look at their Razer Gigantus V2M Minecraft Edition mouse pad. So to get some of the tech specs out of the way before it comes to the mouse. So this is a right-handed mouse. It uses this speed flex cable, which is actually really long. I'm actually really kind of appreciating the extra length on it. And just a side note, it does come with this rubber band type material on the end of it, so you can kind of shorten the length of it. And it just keeps your cables all nice and neat. And since desk space for me is always at a premium, I do appreciate that. Like I said, this is a wired device. You don't have to worry about kind of battery life. It uses the RGB Razer Chromia. Nice and bright, glows green. I don't think you can program it. I did connect this to my main computer, and it did show up in my Synapse program that Razer uses. But I should mention, I do have my Minecraft keyboard set up and my other Razer mouse. So I wonder if maybe you can do something more with it. I'm not sure. Either way, it still glows nice and green, which I kind of think of as Minecraft green or Borg drone green. Either way, looks kind of nice. When it comes to the optical sensor, it is 8500 DPI. Its max sensitivity, as I mentioned, is 8500. Its max speed is at 300 IPS, max acceleration of 35. Does have 6 programmable buttons, and the internal switches are optical mouse Gen 3s. And the life cycle for this thing is expected to be about 90 million clicks. That is insane when you really kind of think about it. And overall, it looks like a Minecraft creeper. It does have the Minecraft creeper on the right button for the mouse clicking. And it's this nice kind of foresty green, but with some of the Minecraft earth material on it as well. I do find the coating on it to be really smooth, really slick. I would suspect it'll probably hold up okay over the lifetime. I was doing a little bit of a deep dive on these just seeing what other people have said about their Razer Cobra mice over the course of their lifetime. And some people have said some of the coating tends to get a little slimy on them. I kind of wonder if that's going to be an issue with this because it's so slick and smooth. I could imagine maybe over the course of a couple of years, maybe the coating might change, but I've kind of got a good feeling about this one. Again, for a branded mouse, I really like it simply because I like the cable length on it because, again, if you use that little rubber tie on it, you can kind of adjust the length to it and as to what you want with it. It swipes really smooth. The button in the middle, it has a different texture than other mice that I've used before. And as I've been in the Razer environment for probably about 2 years now, I like a lot of the way their mouses are, like their mouse wheels. They're very smooth. They're very slick. And I honestly prefer them over the Logitech mice that I used to use previously in the past. So I like it. I mean, if you're a Minecraft fan, and I have a feeling that Movie's going to do something for the game. I mean, I know a lot of younger kids still play that and Roblox. So honestly, if you were in the market and you wanted to get the Minecraft fanatic in your family a new mouse, I don't think it's a bad choice, all things considered. Again, it's lightweight, it's affordable, all things considered. If you don't want to go in on the super high-end mice that are wireless, for a wired mouse, I rather enjoy it. Now, to talk about the mouse pad, how do you review a mouse pad? Well, for me, I'm actually comparing two mouse pads side by side. I'm actually using another Razer product that you'll hear about me talk about next week, and that's going to be the Firefly V2 Pro, which is this illuminated RGB mouse pad. Surprisingly cool. Again, if you're watching my social media, Borg Green. So I've got the gigantic cloth mouse pad set up beside that, and in terms of mouse pads, not gonna lie, this is probably one of the nicer ones I've ever owned. It is really smooth. I find I'm not getting any drags, especially with the optical sensor, as I am using the two separate mice. The other mouse that I'm currently using is the Razer Cobra Pro. I'm using that as my main mouse right now. And I rather prefer it on the Gigantus Surface because, again, it swipes so smooth. I never have any hang-ups that I used to get with my Logitech mice where I'd get like a hang-up and I'd have to swipe back over to do something. But I'm also not playing a lot of games on PC, but I am playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, which means I really want to make sure I'm placing my pieces on my map really precisely because, again, 30 feet for a spell is going to make a bit of a difference. And if I'm going to be moving around the map trying to kill my players, but I'm not a killer DM, I want to make sure I have the best optical or the best possible surface, again, so I'm not saying, oh, well, he's 32 feet away, so now he's out of range of my fireball or my cone of cold, or can I Misty Step that far? And here I don't have to kind of jiggle it. I know it's a minor difference, but again, if I'm going to play, I want the best precision possible. So ultimately, do I recommend the Minecraft collection from Razer? Well, if you're in the market for a new mouse, yeah, it's not bad. If you like wired mice, I like it. In terms for a mouse pad, honestly, yeah, I mean, it looks great. It looks like a giant Minecraft creeper. It's got, again, the like earth kind of blocks on the outside, but it's got the big creeper face in the middle. And since the marketing for Minecraft has been all over the place right now, not gonna lie, maybe I'm gonna have to give it a try. I am terrible with this stuff, but I like Lego, so who knows? I'll have to see what happens with that in my Minecraft adventures. But once again, big thanks to Razer for sending these review products over to us. And next week, you can stay tuned for a review of the Razer Firefly V2 Pro, which is the RGB illuminated gamepad. Once again, we'll be talking about that next week.
Alex, the producer here, and our friends over at Dontnod sent over the newest game that they're publishing. It's by Studio Tolima. This is one of the indie games that they announced previously that they would be publishing. This is Koira. And if you're wondering, what is this? I think I've heard of this. This was the game that was announced a few years back, actually. I think probably either at the height of the pandemic or shortly after, as this game where you're in like this inky black like forest world, and you're trying to protect a dog that you find. It is a adventure title that requires no dialogue. It's very almost like pantomime, like you're experiencing it through silent protagonists, and your goal is to you're befriending this dog, and you're trying to make your way out of a magical forest and just find like a safe haven, find your way through. There are tons of like magical, fantastical creatures and things and puzzles to discover and go through. It's very charming. You can play it. It's recommended to play with a gamepad and headphones on, because it's a very immersive experience when it comes to the audio design and the aesthetics. It's a beautiful game, very simplistic in its design as far as like the graphical prowess of it. You can run it on basically anything. I played this on Steam on PC, and it runs. You need to have Windows 10 as a minimum. It will work on AMD, Intel CPUs. It requires like Core Gen 2. like we're talking, you can run this on like 12-year-old CPUs or more. And what's interesting is minimum of 4 gigs of RAM. And it just says, it needs at least 1 gig of dedicated VRAM. I will be completely honest. You can run this on like lower resolution, like at 720p, on computers that have integrated graphics. I just, for fun, shits and giggles, ended up installing it on one of those Intel N100 mini PCs that cost like if they're on sale, like $200 Canadian, those little cheap Chinese ones. I have one of those that I take between houses if I'm doing recording on the go, or if I need something to just like do video playback on. And it doesn't have dedicated RAM, but it's got like the Intel integrated graphics, and it's a bit of a struggle. It's probably the lowest you'd want to go, but it can work with at like 720p. And there aren't really any other graphical settings other than you can set it to VSync so that it will sync to whatever your monitor is, because it only needs about 2 gigs of storage space. It needs to be able to run DirectX 11, and it says 1 gig of VRAM minimum. But I'll be honest, if it's a modern integrated graphics, it should work at a much lower resolution. Or if you've got something like the most modern integrated graphics solutions from like the Intel Arc based ones, if you have like a Intel Ultra series APU, or you have something of the similar generation on AMD, you should be able to work it. Recommended though is something running at about I guess like 4th or 5th generation Intel, 8 gigs of RAM, which is pretty standard now I think for most people, and it recommends at least 2 gigs of dedicated VRAM. Obviously it's overkill with the computers I have at home with the Arc A380, and then which has 6 gigs of RAM, and then of course I got the NVIDIA 3080 Ti, which is way overkill. But installing it worked flawlessly on any platform I put it on. It does scale quite well to 4K, just the design of the graphics. I'm not sure if it's like a vector-based game or something, but everything seemed to scale perfectly no matter what resolution I played it at, whatever monitor I played it at. It is pretty simplistic. It starts out very simple, giving you the option to just basically move around in a tutorial, and then there's a couple buttons you can press to sort of whistle or wave, and you're slowly introduced, and the world opens up to just this whimsical wonder that you have playing through. Very, very fun. Very, I would say, calming and cathartic at the same time that you're also just experiencing the world. And I didn't experience a moment where I was panicked or anything. Like, this is, this has challenges to it. It also has, a good pace, and there is some anticipation, but you're never going to feel like major anxiety playing this game. And, that's the recommendation when you turn it on, to put on headphones, and, a good set of headphones, and play it with a controller is recommended, I would say, because it really does give it a good feel. And I think it's going to be kind of a sleeper indie hit, and I hope that people, don't sleep on it, and that you have a good time playing it. And I think if you're on the fence about it, maybe check out a YouTube video or something, a trailer for it. But to me, it almost has like a 1920s, 1930s cartoony look feel, but with just enough atmosphere to keep you going and, feel like a modern game that doesn't need to have talking or dialogue to convey its emotion.
How the hell did I end up in Canada?
Hey.
I hate fucking Canada.
Keep it down in there.
I'm an American. Apple pie, lower 48, air supply.
You're an American. Where's your passport?
I don't have one. I told you I never had a passport. I don't want a passport.
Hey, shut up and sleep it off.
Why would I want to come to Canada?
Hey guys, this is Mike the Birdman here. I'm here to talk about something really interesting we got for review from our friends over at Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. I'm talking about Shameless US, the complete series available on DVD. This is all 11 seasons from everyone's, favorite messed up family, the Gallaghers. So as far as I understand, this is the first time everything has been released in one complete collection, but that means you're getting everything from the previous singular seasons. That's all the unaired scenes, special features, everything. And this is the series that stars William H. Macy, so the guy from Mystery Men, among many other award-winning films, but also the guy who plays Cal Kestis from Star Wars Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. So that was unexpected when I watched this. This is actually one of my wife's favorite shows. I've sat down and watched a couple episodes of this series. It's not bad, but in the true transparency, a lot of my family has addiction issues, who have now unfortunately all passed. But this was a entertaining look at how you can take a serious situation, make it comical, but also make it relatable at the same time. And that's something that I do appreciate. I don't think nearly enough modern television does that in such a funny, but again, relatable way. Like, I see a lot of my own family in the Gallaghers. And while I'm having a laugh on the outside, on the inside, I'm like, oh, well, that's depressing. But still, it is a funny show, and it does a lot to really highlight, just how, you come from an incredibly bad place, but that doesn't have to define you. And I think that's what I really appreciate about the Shameless show is you are what you make of it. You can be anything you want despite messed up circumstances. And yeah, you're going to have a lot of things holding you back, but that doesn't have to define everything that you are. And of course, William H. Macy is hysterical in this. Like, I knew the guy was funny when I first saw him back in Mystery Men back in the 90s, but watching his career over the last 20-something years has been a real trip. He's honestly one of my favorite actors, and just the fact that he brings so much life to this character of Frank Gallagher is, like I said, something to really kind of behold. Plus also seeing Emmy Rossum, I remember watching her in a bunch of movies. I want to say, I think, was she Bulma in Dragon Ball Evolution? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. But anyway, regardless, Shameless, the complete series. If you want to check this show out, I really suggest you go on YouTube, watch a compilation of the funniest scenes. And again, quick wit, fast dialogue. It's really going to get you. And it's going to hit you in some unexpected places too. And also seeing, I believe it's one of the guys from Reba is in this too. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but it was a real joy to see him in this series. So if you like Jedi and the Shoveler, then you're probably going to dig this. But ultimately, this is a real winner. I do wish this was on Blu-ray, but it wouldn't surprise me if that happens at some point in the next year or two. I mean, I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Succession when we reviewed that last year. So once again, that is Shameless, the complete series, all 11 seasons on DVD from Warner Brothers Home Entertainment.
You're a bad drunk.
Oh, well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black.
No. I'm a good drunk. Makes me happy. When you drink, you get mean. If it wasn't for me, Lip would be dead right now.
Are you seriously telling me to stop drinking?
I would never say that to my worst enemy. No, I am telling you there are good drunks and bad drunks. A good drunk is fun. A bad drunk wants to have a fight. A good drunk lives in the present. A bad drunk is thinking about yesterday.
Those magnificent bastards! Color me kooky, but something very odd is going on around here.
You're not allowed to talk anymore.
And that's going to do it for this very quickie review show this week. We actually have another review show coming up either tomorrow or maybe the next day. We'll see where the schedule lies. But that's going to be a little more robust with more stuff to talk about. It's a full roundup of everything that hasn't been able to slot into the regular show as of this week. We also have an Earth versus Soup coming up. It might be the same day as the review show, but we'll try to space it out ever so slightly. Maybe, well, again, we'll see. Beyond that, we might have a regular show this coming week. It's all going to depend on how Birdman's feeling. He hasn't been feeling the greatest the last little bit, but he's slowly on the mend. We do have other reviews and stuff that we're working on. If there's like major news outbreaks right now, there hasn't been, because it's mostly just everything been tied to tariffs and everything going on in the States politically. It's kind of affected things. The big story obviously being, what's going to happen with Nintendo when it comes to pre-orders and Nintendo Switches and delays and all this stuff. So it's so fluid that we can't really be reporting on it without just being like out of date the second we talk about it. So if something major happens, we'll break in and do a news special or something, but we will see how things flow and how things go. As of right now, what else are we going to have? Well, we are going to have a Random Access Memories episode coming up. We'll probably release that this coming weekend. And then as we get closer to, I think it's this following week is going to be Easter weekend, which we are not going to be doing a regular program on. We are going to put out a Sunday Funnies, probably on Easter Sunday. And then we might have a review show or something, or some other pre-recorded stuff that comes out on the Monday when we would normally have something. But we're going to make sure we have something to cover it. But we are taking that week off. And then we're going to be recording a bunch of stuff so that we have plenty of stuff going into the spring and summertime. But yeah, that's what we're looking like now. So you're going to have Earth vs. Soup this week, Earth vs. Soup next week. We've got the upcoming episode of Random Access Memories, an upcoming episode of Sunday Funnies, and we'll see what else we can slot in and put out there. But we're working on some good stuff in the background, some games and stuff that will be coming out for review in the next week or two. But that's pretty much it. That's going to do it for this very quickie episode. We'll see you guys, I guess, later on this week in some other programming right here on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at ThisWeekInGeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@ThisWeekInGeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.